Hello and welcome back to Mars. I'm Mick. We're playing Stationeers. And of course, awesome news today. We've had another update. Now, there's been a few new toys added and everyone is happy. Yes, yeah, enough of you lot. Let's go have a look. Right, now, they've had a new update there. It's been a little while since we've heard much from them there. They've sort of had a bit of a couple of weeks of lockdown in New Zealand, so there has been a couple of weeks of having no updates. I don't suppose there was no work being done. That's just not their way, but there was no updates being posted. And then lo and behold, just today there's a whole plethora of them there with fix written on it. So, of course, that meant there's an update coming. So, first up, I guess we've got a few new doors in there. Some of them are sort of just decorative ones and some are functional. So we do actually have an airlock door, which is this one here. It's a manual one, so there is no power connectors, no data connectors, and it just runs manually. So that'll be one thing you can use for your airlocks early on, so you're not continually running in and out with your damn crowbar trying to open the doors. Just careful you don't accidentally push the wrong button there. Now I'm not sure what the bursting pressure is on this one. I haven't tested it on Venus yet, so hopefully it's still good enough for an airlock. Now I do notice on these ones here we do still have all of our data things on here for our power and open and settings and things like that, but there's no actual connector of it there. So I'm not sure if that's just something that they have inherited from the other doors or whether it's meant to be there for this one, but I don't see any way to actually use any of that stuff. Right, so we have the airtight door. We have a few, these ones have vents in them there, so these ones are good for cosmetic doors if you're just using them for internals in your buildings. Handy ones to go. You've got your glass doors. You've got a couple for padded walls. Actually got one that's made to fit with the thick padded walls. Something I don't use very often there, but it's not featured on any other doors. It's working on this one though, so it's finally got some acknowledgement there, although it might be a bit drafty looking through the gap in the hole there, but I guess once you've got the walls hooked up to it, you won't see that. So we've got those ones there, and just another one there with little, not quite so big windows on it, a little bit more privacy than the big window ones. So there we got there, and something that is really cool, I've noticed on this one here, is we can put cables or pipes all the way around it. It is not obscured by the door when it opens. I hope that's not a slip up because that is really handy. So even when it's there, that's normally obscured. You normally can't put cables and pipes there, but you can on this one here. And the same on these ones all the way around. I guess these ones aren't airtight, so they've not been too worried about them. But you can, there's no obstruction on the pipes or cables through there all the way around, even on the bottom of the door, through the top. Lovely. No more trying to poke in cables around them. It is good to go. Right, so they're the new doors. A couple of other little ones there, which is probably not a real biggie there, but the switch works for all the OCD people there. Look, switch goes green, switch goes red, switch goes green, switch goes red. Crisis averted. It's been solved. It was obviously a very easy fix, or it was really annoying to a lot of OCD people because they went and fixed that one. But anyway, it's done. They fixed that on the food machines too. Well, I think that might have been done a little while ago. All right, another thing they have fixed has to do with your water and your water bottle fillers. Now, you notice the tooltip on there, the input water must be between 0 and 100 degrees C. So my water here at the moment is, there we go, minus 10.5 degrees. So my water bottle there is not going to fill up. It's just completely refusing it. So you can't just crush water. You can't crush water because it's a liquid. You can't crush ice into water and then just chunk it straight into your water bottle. Yeah, it's not going to work. And plus you can't get the 1500 degree water straight out of the electrolyzer on Vulcan and then put it in a bottle either. That won't work. So yes, so if you want a nice hot cup of tea, tough luck. Between a 0 and 100 degrees now, safety is apparently more important. So you're going to have to put some temperature control onto your tanks, which I have done inside. Now inside, I have another tank of water. That one is sitting at 12.5 degrees. So now if I put the bottle in there, it quite happily fills up. Now you're also going to have to be more careful with your holy crap, with your growers as well, because the plants now require water that is between 5 and 60 degrees, I think it was. So you're going to have to put together a little temperature controller on your water as well. I've just quickly popped one together there, which just goes to the heat exchanger outside. Get out of my way. So that is just a volume pump which will suck water out on the hot side. That will go to a heat exchanger on the furnace. That is, well, very hot water. It's got a return valve back to there to allow water back in there, but it just pumps out hot water into here when I crush ice, just to make sure it stays the right temperature. There's some logic in there just to make sure that switches on and off as need be. So you're going to have to invent something to look after your plants as well, part of your greenhouse, or all your plants are going to die. And yeah, right, so what's one of the other things we got there? Once again, as I say, we've got these things here. The red green lights, they all work now. Once again, critical things. Now we've got our power transmitters fixed. These are pretty cool now, so I did almost blow them up on the last time they had them there, but now they're working. It looks like we have about a 5 kilowatt maximum on them. It was saying a power potential of 4.95 kilowatts. I think it was about 10 last time I tried them. Has an input of 47 kilowatts, so it is definitely not cheating physics this time around. There is a couple of sort of bug fixes, long-standing bugs there with the recursive power transmitters there. That doesn't happen anymore. If you try and hook up an infinite power loop in your recursive transmitters, it'll just blow up the cables. So that is handy there. I didn't really discover that bug myself. Well, I only discovered it by accident, but it was apparently a well-known bug, not to me. That has been fixed. The power transmitters are not permanently transmitting the maximum power, so it's only whatever you put in is what you get out, up to a maximum of 5 kilowatts it looks like. Now, a handy thing on this one here is you can now get the logic transmitter will now connect to your data receivers, and these things now have on them a position XYZ, and on this one here. So now I can actually hook up the data transmitter to that one there, which will give me the X, Y and Z of the receiver, and then just with a bit of logic on the chip there, I can calculate the angle to hook both of them up so that they automatically align, automatically find each other, and that makes it a hell of a lot easier. Although you can pretty much just eyeball it there and hook them up there. I think there's about 7-degree tolerance there, so they don't have to be exactly lined up. You can probably eyeball it a lot easier than you can actually write the code, so don't be too fussed about the code. But it is there if you want it. So if we just mess up the angles of our two devices there, now not pointing at each other, things are not working. The light is off. So when they're ready, I can just switch on my code. It knows the position of the two items there, and they just come back into alignment, and the light should come on. They find each other, and away they go. Now the X and Y position does seem to change as they move, so there's a little bit of continual adjustment as it goes along, but I just switch off the chip once they're actually aligned. We have a potential of 4.95 kilowatts. Oh, that made it bright. It is still a total of 0.49. That is good. It is not. I think that's the way it's meant to be working. Only 5 kilowatts out of those things when they're pointed right at. That's pretty weak. How am I going to get it to get all the way over to my beacon up on the hill there? There's my beacon up on the tower. How am I going to power that from my base? That's miles away. Right, another thing we've got there. Well, I say it's another thing we've got there. It does seem to be only available in creative at the moment. I'm not sure whether someone forgot to push a button on the push the update out to yesterday, but it's only available in creative. This is a portable battery charger. So you have your wireless batteries. They're pretty pathetic batteries there, so I don't think you're going to go replacing everything with them. If I put that on there, just switch me light on, and you can see it just quickly dropping down 59, 58, 57, 56. You probably get 1.5 minutes of power out of it, and then it's just going to be gone. So yeah, it's probably not something you'll be using on your everyday thing. But while you do have it in there, these things can just lie around. You have to put them in a battery charger because this is an omnidirectional power transmitter, and it will, I think, probably based on Nikolai Tesla's power transmitter there. Oh, he had a huge one there, and that he had the dream of being able to transmit the world's power grid without using cables. So he had a big, massive tower there. He was trying to do it. He could never get funding to actually use it. Couldn't get any financial support. So we see the battery's charging now, just sitting nearby. Yes, Nikolai Tesla never gets financial support to run his machine there because everybody thought he was going to give away free power. And of course, they wanted the money, so they wouldn't back him on it. Right, so these things will just charge sitting on the floor, and also they'll charge while they're sitting in your suit. So as I say, they're pretty pathetic little batteries. So it goes down pretty quickly. You switch it on, now it's going back up again. It's all charged again, so it'll stay charged while you're working in your base and you're nearby that thing there. Your batteries will never go flat. You put them in your tools, put them in whatever, and you'll always have power. So that is, well, I'll say they're only small batteries. The small batteries, you've got the slightly bigger batteries, but they're still less powerful than your standard. Your small batteries are worse than your small standard batteries. Your large wireless battery is worse than your large regular battery. So, I don't know how useful they're going to be around the base there, but they're available. Once again, it's only in creative. I guess if you're using a heap of portable generators, your portable scrubbers, your portable heaters and things like that, if you chuck one of those batteries in it, put one of these nearby, it'll save you fluffing around with batteries all the time, trying to put them in and out of machines and get them charged so that you can use them in machines again. It's one of the experimental things at the moment, so I'm not sure if it's in creative deliberately or accidentally, but it'd be interesting to see what people can do with that one there. So what else we got? Oh, the vacuum bug. I might have to pop to the moon and have a look at that one. Now, the vacuum trick we had. So I'm in the airlock that is vacuumed out here. There is nothing, no air in here at all. We have a tank. It is 187.2 degrees and it is staying at 187.2 degrees. It is not going down. We used to be able to walk into a room that was a vacuum, just dump everything in there and it would just cool down. Not anymore. Now, so I think the question was put out there is, have they implemented black body radiation in this one here by doing this? Well, no. Because if we drop another one, we can sort of have our other one there. That's 19.9. That is sort of staying at temperature. That one is staying at temperature. If they did have black body radiation, this one would be emitting heat and it would be absorbed by that one there. And while it'd be absorbed by the walls, it would be built by the doors, and the doors would then be emitting heat, coming back out again, and everything in the room would equalise in temperature. And we see it is not. So they haven't implemented a black body radiation. It is just, I think they've just decided that any enclosed room in a vacuum is perfectly insulated. But don't worry, if we open the door and expose it to the vacuum of space, as such, we see it now does cool down because it's outside. It can now radiate heat out into space, and it is cooling down as it should do. So if you're on the moon, don't worry, your radiators outside will still work as they should, but they won't work if you're on Venus. They won't work in a vacuum room, as they shouldn't. So that is a little trick there, so that if you were relying on that to survive on Venus, yeah, think again, it's not going to work anymore. And the sensor lenses have been repaired. Look at that. Things are actually where they're meant to be. They're not all over the place, and now you can see the entire deposit, and there is there's a lot of stuff still around here. Before it did just show the occasional few items that were in the ore deposit. Now you can see the entire thing. There have also been a heap of other little fixes and balances, heaps and heaps of other things there. Probably too many to mention. Jump into the patch notes if you want to read through all of them there. But some of the things there are that if you open your helmet when it's over 100 degrees, it will damage your lungs now. I mean, previously the cold used to do it. They used to sort of open it up and your lungs would get frostbite, but the heat never did. I was always a bit puzzled by that, but they have attributed a thanks to that in the patch notes, thanks to somebody on that one there. So I dare say one of the devs has been scratching their head over that one for a long time, not being able to figure it out. Not until somebody has probably reported a bug and sort of said, hey, do you know that if you open your helmet when it's hot, it actually heals you? And the devs have gone, damn, that's right. A negative temperature will hurt you and a positive temperature heals you. I'll just change that plus to a minus, and that bug I've been looking for months and months is solved that easy. But that's the importance of good bug reporting. Just sending off a report saying that doesn't work is not helpful. If you can send out what's going on, when it happens, and exactly what it's doing, if you can make it repeatable and then let them know, that'll be a helpful one for them. It always happens when I do this. But that's one of the other things there. So no more sneaking your helmet open when it's boiling hot in Venus and having a cup of boiling water. But I mean, who'd do something like that? I know. And the winter spawn, the plants, they have been rebalanced there, so no one can create an impossible machine to give infinite power. So we have our vacuum exploit fixed. We have our infinite power bug exploit fixed. We have our drinking hot water bug fixed. We have our opening our helmet in the hot weather bug fixed. There has been a lot of long-standing bugs just completely nailed on this one here. I dare say they're into a big deep dive into the code there and doing some probably exciting things that nobody's going to appreciate because you don't actually get to see it, like fancy things like this, which impresses more, and the real hard work goes into the under the bonnet programming and getting the networking and things like that going. I've probably missed a heap of stuff there, but I think I've covered things that really I thought were pretty cool. As I say, check out the patch notes if you want to know all the ins and outs of it there. There is an awful lot going on there. There's a huge number of fixes that have gone in that one. So check it out, have a go. I think, usually with an update, we have about a couple of days there to build something ridiculous that the devs haven't thought of and try and break the game, but I can't quite think of one this time. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. So, challenges out there. Let's see what we can do. Until next time, new toys. Happy building. See ya.